Hello and welcome everyone to some more 8-Bit Show. Woo!
Yay! 8-Bits. The show of eights.
The show of bits. 8 bits. Right at you. Introducing our first bit. We have Coffee and Corn Dogs.
Hello.
And our second bit, Two Littles.
That's me.
And I'm your third bit, Franky1029.
What about the other 5 bits?
We'll get to that eventually.
Oh.
I'm sure.
Don't you worry about those bits.
Yeah.
You don't want to know about it here.
They're Easter eggs. Literally. Oh, no, we're too late for that.
For Easter?
Yeah,
I guess so.
just a little. We'll be fine. How you guys doing?
Not
Good.
bad, not bad.
Yeah. Any new and exciting things going on?
Yeah, we did the things. I mean, we've been gone for like a couple of weeks. Haven't I done a show in a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
So we're back for the all exciting return.
I know. I gotta resettle into it, dust everything off.
Yeah, I forget how we do this. What we talk about here.
Well, usually talk about games, movies,
Foreign
TV shows.
policy?
If that foreign policy involves video games,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Sometimes they do.
It's true. Yeah. Well, who wants to go first with their weeks?
Well, you know, I've had a week. I can talk about it.
Do it.
I won't, but I could talk about it. No, I'll go. That's cool. Yeah. It's been a couple of weeks. I did some things, played some games. I beat Power Wash Simulator. That happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Along with most of its DLC.
So you said that there's some story to this Power Wash Simulator that I was not expecting. What does this story entail?
Well, so most of it's done through like text messages that you get while power washing.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty, loose. It's not anything too big. But after a while, you'll start noticing like some weird. You get like weird messages, and then like every so often you're asked to clean something really weird. And then near the end, it kind of like puts it together. You got to clean this guy's RV at one point, and you do, no big deal. And then like a mission or two later, he asks you to re-clean it. And when you first arrive, it looks like perfectly fine. And as you approach, it turns.
And then you pull out the black light.
Sorry. Yeah, and it looks like a straight Picasso. No, but as you approach, it turns into like an alien ship.
Oh.
So you get like, so you start learning that there's like aliens involved, and then the last level is you clean this like giant temple, and it like, ow, that hurt my ears a little bit. Sorry, I got deafened.
Oh.
You clean this temple that has like depictions of what you were like cleaning and stuff. There's like murals and stuff where you get to see like some of the buildings that you cleaned. Obviously pretty small story, but silly and interesting.
That's cool. I mean, that sounds like more. I mean, the fact that there's any story at all is actually kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's really kind of weird, and there might even be more there. You start noticing one of the weirdest things I noticed is that partway through you get there's like this gnome that like for some reason you don't seem to be able to like. He's in every stage, at least somewhere in the stage. And I don't know if he's like watching you. He might be one of the aliens. I don't know.
Interesting. Is this like? Is there like some like website that has like deep lore theories?
Look, I'm sure that like Matt Pat and his crew probably did something on it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I approve of that. So yeah, overall, satisfied with the game. You said there were some issues with some of the DLC, right?
Yeah. So like, I don't think there was any issues necessarily. Yeah. It's just some of them were definitely like better put together. So I played through 3 of them. I did the Back to the Future one. And the Warhammer.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy 7 one. And now, like, some of the things were kind of cool. The Warhammer one was pretty fun because they gave you like a new power washing gun that kind of like just looked like Warhammer style. It was all metal instead of being made out of plastic. Had all like the Warhammer filigree all over it. But like the Final Fantasy one didn't have any of that, and it seemed a little bit shorter. I don't know if it was like one of the first ones to come out, or if there was something to that.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't as meaty, I feel. The Back to the Future one was also kind of lackluster, but there was some fun bits to it. Once you clean like the DeLorean, it takes off and runs through just like in the movie. Like plays out a little cutscene for you, and it does the same. It does the same when you complete the last one, which is Doc's train, the time train.
Oh yeah.
And it does another little thing where it takes off and.
I think I had the. I don't know if it was McDonald's or Burger King, but I had the toys, the train. That had I think it was like this weird see-through blue color, so it could be like kind of like it was getting ready to transport through time.
Right.
I missed that.
Oxygen levels critical.
Do you guys ever watch the show? Cartoon?
I don't really remember the cartoon at all. I remember there was.
Yeah, I don't think I ever like really watched. Like I might have seen an episode, but oh
wow. Speaking of shows, though, I watched the Fallout show.
I need to watch that so bad. It's apparently getting really good reviews, so people
finished it up.
Oh, you guys finished it?
Yeah, I finished it. We finished it yesterday or the day before.
So are you happy that it was like the whole season was available to stream off the bat, or like is it a binge worthy show?
I don't know. So seemingly they've cut it in half, which is why I'm sure they get a second season. Because one of the problems I think the show was good. In an overall sense, I say go ahead and watch it. It's definitely not a bad video game. But or video game TV show, Yeah.
It's decent. I've had pretty low expectations myself, so it surpassed those. The low expectations that I had.
There is some things that I think some complaints that I would have. I don't know if it comes from the binging aspect, although that does seem to be kind of dying in people's like favor. More and more people are like, they should do it weekly.
Well, it was interesting. I just saw, I don't remember where, I didn't read the actual article, but there was some headline that somebody was saying that as a show that's coming out to binge, like it has a whole season, it feels like the first show in a while that's good for, basically.
So yes and no. It might have been better had they not like put in a previously on like every time. I think if you make a show to binge, you probably shouldn't do that.
Well, they have the skip button for that too.
That's true. It's just, I think it's a silly.
Not that we watched it on the platform that has the skip button on it, but if we had,
Yeah, you can. There's that possibility. Not to mention, we could, you know.
Yeah,
I could. Yeah, I could.
There's the fast forward button. I'm just usually too lazy to hit it. I think set wise, it was great. I think they did some of the fun story bits. I feel like it loses a little emphasis on the end, just because it doesn't feel like it comes to a very conclusive ending. Like a good explanation, and I actually think it's a little bit better. The Twisted Metal show that I watched, like I feel like even though it leaves itself open to an end, it also felt more complete. Like it'd be fine if that's where the show ended. This one, it definitely feels like it needs more.
Yeah,
like it ends on a bit more of a cliffhanger than I necessarily like in my shows. But
I don't think it was a cliffhanger at all. I think it wrapped everything up.
I'll have to watch.
I don't know. Maybe I just felt it was a little lackluster.
Well, I mean, yeah, I do agree with that, but I kind of felt that about the whole show.
Jesus Christ! All right, hold on. I'll be right back. Got someone yelling at me.
Right on schedule.
There he is.
So, what you want to go into detail on how you felt like it was lackluster?
It's kind of like it was fine. It was kind of meh.
Yeah, was it like the characters in particular, or the story, or
yeah, all
acting?
of that. The story,
All of it.
the story's pretty mid.
Is it faithful to the universe at least, or?
Yeah, they set it far enough in the future from the rest of the games that it doesn't need to be. But yeah, there's a lot of shout outs to the lore.
There's a lot. There's even stuff from like the first one. Sorry, I'm back now. Yeah, there's a huge amount of like Easter egg references.
A lot of Easter eggs, yeah. But I don't know. It's just kind of like, I thought it was kind of meh. I thought the side plot they had with like what was going on in the vault was more interesting, much like the actual games. Thought the side plot of what was going on in the vault was more interesting than the like main story.
I thought that's one of the
and her missing dad.
That's actually one of the things I like about it, because it seems to, off of the parts that I like the most, seem to be all the side story stuff. Which I guess fits the game really well, right? Like, because the best parts are always the side quests.
I feel like that's where they shine. Honestly.
So I think in that sense it's good.
Yeah, but the show also only gave like side plot time to the side plots. I was like, I would have rather the vault mystery be the main plot.
But maybe that's why I feel like the show kind of got a little meh and like a little lackluster on the story. I would like to have seen there be more. I know that a bunch
more focused in on like one thing, you know? Like, it introduces a lot of characters and a lot of factions, and we don't really get to do. It introduces the NCR at the very end of the show, and we don't really get to see that faction at all.
No, we just get like.
But the game is, but the show's very much into establishing that they're a faction right at the very end.
I do know, as far as like fanboy stuff, there's a bit of people who are kind of upset. There is a bit of talk about retconning some things, and they definitely have retconned some things for the show. But one of the biggest complaints, I don't actually think is a retcon. It doesn't really spoil much of anything, but at the very end of it, you get to see New Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And one of the last things you see is like the Vegas Strip.
That's their setup for
and you can see that it's all like, you can see it's all broken down and it's not like running like it was when we were there.
Yeah, it wasn't lit up.
So there's like something to do with that, which is fine. People are calling that a retcon, but I don't feel so because they've put it so far in the future.
Yeah,
like,
that
you're like 100. I think you're like 100 years out from when.
No, it's 200. Oh, from New Vegas, I don't know.
I think it's
200 and it's 200 and change from when the bombs fell.
Yeah,
which would put it 100 and change out from 76 because they come out at the 100-year mark. But that's the first vault to come out. Not sure when the other ones come out. But they do establish that these vaults have been like, the character you're following has been in that vault for a while, doing stuff with her cousin.
Yeah, there's a lot of incest jokes like right off the bat, which I think is kind of funny.
Like two.
I mean, I guess.
And then I just made fun of that lady for banging her cousin the whole time. It's like the main character, and they just hard established that her and her cousin messed around, I guess is the direct quote. But they established that they did mess around. I'm pretty sure they were doing it. I'm sure she was banging her cousin.
I mean, I guess if you're locked in a vault.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the idea,
yeah, so the biggest ones to me, the biggest like changes to me weren't like the New Vegas Strip. I don't think that really changes anything there because of how far out they set it.
Plus, I mean, the condition of the New Vegas Strip really depends on which faction you sided with at the end of the game.
There's also the end. Yeah, that's why I don't really think that's a retcon. The things they did were like the placement of Shady Sands, one of the locations. They changed from like Northern California to like LA. So whatever, not very much. And there was
it's a nitpicky thing.
And they kind of
nothing burger.
They kind of retcon the start of the war, although kind of retcon because it's only assumed. Like everyone assumed that the Chinese dropped the first bomb, and this one rewrote that. I won't share how they do that, but they do. They retcon that a little bit. In some fascinating ways, though. And I don't know, some people are complaining that like, oh, the game's not made by fans or written by fans or whatever, and I can't agree with that. There was a lot of references to like really old things.
Yeah.
At like one point, a homeboy shows up. One of the vault dwellers shows up with a broken water chip. Water purifying chip, which is literally the quest of the first game. Which is to go get a water purifying chip.
That's pretty cool.
I thought that was a great nod. At one point when you have like a big meeting of all these like corporate people, you get to see Mr. House and a bunch of people from New Vegas. Or a couple, Mr. House, and there's another guy from New Vegas. So I don't know. There's some people out there saying that this was like Bethesda trying to get rid of New Vegas.
But
I don't really get that. I don't feel that at all.
Yeah.
Well, not with them putting that as their like setting for the second season.
Yeah, showing all that, having Mr. House, like part of it's like yeah, like we were just saying, you know, it's like also the end state of what Vegas leaves it is really up to you. And there's a handful of ways that could go. So whatever way they chose seems fine. Like, I don't know. I'll probably watch season 2 in hopes that it does more. Overall, I thought it was really well, like, the performances were good. I like Lucy, our Vault Dweller. I like the Ghoul. Wasn't too big of a fan of our Brotherhood guy, Maximus.
Yeah, me neither.
Mostly because I felt a lot of his decisions were very selfish, and he was kind of lackluster.
I just thought he was too dumb. He's so dumb.
He's so dumb. He definitely has a low intelligence.
It's frustrating. And then he just, like, I don't know. Sometimes they gave him the cringiest lines. Like, there was some shit he was saying. I can't even. like when they were in Vault 4, that whole like sequence where he gets like extra dumb in there for no good goddamn reason.
Extra trustworthy of all these people, even though he's shown no sign of being trustworthy to anybody else.
Yeah, just making like really bad decisions in there. But yeah, they're just like he just really got dumb there, and that was by far the worst of it, but not the only part where he was just really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was good. As far as video game shows go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll try to watch it for next week's show. How many episodes is it?
8?
8? Okay, not too bad.
Sounds right.
Let's see what else. I did some other things besides that. I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I beat Blasphemous.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Yeah. You know, finally got through that hell of a game. Also found out that Larian Studios had kickstarted that game.
Oh, really?
Which I thought was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't ask for anything. They just, on the Kickstarter donated $1,000.
Wow.
Which is always cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I can get behind that.
Kind of been watching a lot of stuff. I watched the final seasons of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which was pretty fun. I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It'd been a while, so I decided to finish that up.
Yeah, I gotta say it's a pretty good show. Every time I see like in shorts clips from that show, I have to watch because it's like just they really knew how to capitalize on like little moments.
They had really strong cold opens on that show.
Yeah, they did.
It really did have strong cold opens. The humor of it is
that's like what good. Most of the clips are that I see on YouTube.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, because they're all rather fantastic.
Yeah. That's a good show.
I caught up on Doctor Who, watched the Christmas special and whatnots.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the new Doctor. The specials were really good with Tennant coming back for a bit. They do a new thing. They introduce bi-regeneration in the new Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. So instead of the Doctor just regenerating into somebody new, he ends up splitting and still remains to be Tennant, and we get the new Doctor. And I like the new Doctor, but I do have some concerns about Disney taking control of it.
Yeah.
Are you talking about that musical number?
Yeah, there's in the very last episode, the first episode that is officially the new Doctor. It is there is a straight like 3-4 minute musical number with goblins, and it's not very good. And it reminds me in a really bad way of like the Gremlins when they do that whole like single. There's even like a gremlin who all of a sudden is dressed like a like starlet on stage singing.
Yeah.
And like it was very like, what the fuck is going on? This is not what.
So what were the circumstances that brought that about?
So the whole episode is about is getting like the new companion, really.
Mm-hmm.
Who seems to have a fairly interesting story, but then there's these goblins who steal babies and kind of erase them from like existence.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But they capture this baby and they're trying to go get it back, and they're about to feed the baby to the Goblin King, and it's going down like a conveyor belt, and the goblins are singing this song before they feed it to the Goblin King.
This sounds like Labyrinth.
It
did kind of feel like Labyrinth, yeah.
There's a bit of that, in
but without
way.
like any charm.
Yeah.
It is not that it was necessarily bad, and I think the new Doctor did really good. I like his style. I like the flair that they're bringing to the role.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that type of singing stuff just better not happen the whole time.
Yeah.
Because it's not great. I get that was a special, so I'm gonna hope like hell that was just because it's a special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds really weird.
It was not something I appreciated, I'll tell you that. Other than that, the episode was fine, except for that like 3 minutes of like, what the hell. Man, I'm not doing good on these runs.
It's okay, you're distracted. You're allowed to not do good.
That's fair.
Nobody watches us for our skills. Are you kidding me?
God, I hope not.
Well, I wanted to be known for my gaming skills.
That's not what you're going to be known for.
Very bad news then.
Yeah.
You guys really know how to crush a guy.
Yo,
Listen, personality, that's what we're here for.
those are the skills people tune in for. To watch me crush your hopes and dreams.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Very skilled at that. Doing it for years.
I started recently playing Against the Storm again.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't played since it's released on full access. Like I got the game in early access, played it for like nearly 30 hours, and haven't really picked it up since.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got the inkling to go ahead and play more. It's a pretty cool game. It's like the beginning of every simulator game. You got this like overworld map that you keep trying to get like further and further on, and there's this fog that will like consume the land.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to set up like outposts going out from the capital city, and after a certain amount of time and a certain amount of settlements you make, you'll have to reset and this fog will like will go back, cover the land all the way up to the city, and you got to start again.
Okay.
So it's definitely a like colony builder for me.
Yeah.
Because I usually only play the first like 30-40 minutes again and again and again.
Yeah.
So it really works for me. As that's like basically its whole thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Pretty fun game though. Has beavers and foxes and stuff you can recruit as like workers and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, seems cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. You gotta build like there's a little bit of like roguelike to it where you gotta like kind of choose how your little colony is going to level up and do better.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta choose like what orders you do to like complete for your main city. When you complete enough of those, you start again in a new area.
Huh. Okay.
Building up a new colony. You can set a like trading lines between like your settlements too.
Yeah.
Making it a little bit easier the farther you get in there. As it also gets harder the farther you get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Not much else to say about that. I suck pretty bad, so I still haven't made it too far. But we know that. We were just talking about how bad I suck at games.
Yeah. We all suck at video games, yes.
Yeah, I guess that was about it for me, though.
Okay. Andrew, would like to go next?
Sure. I watched lots of stuff. I watched the Three Body Problem. All three of them. All caught up on that. Christian, I think you watched the first season of that too, right? Did you finish that?
I haven't finished it.
Oh, okay. Finished the first season. Pretty good. I actually like what they're doing with the show, kind of more than the books, at least in the way that they're structuring it for a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of consolidating the stories a bit, so like shit that doesn't happen until the third book is being introduced now in the first season. Since it does happen like chronologically at the same time as like the first book.
Yeah.
It's just you don't find out about it until the third book. It's not really like important stuff. But they're setting up all the stuff for the second and the third book in the first season.
Okay.
I like it. I like that they did that. I think it was a smart choice. Make the show flow a bit better. And they consolidated some characters and stuff, as you do for TV shows.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy there. Yeah, I think it's pretty good though. It's pretty good adaptation of the book. I like it. First season was solid.
That's good.
I've just about finished the third novel. I haven't finished that quite yet.
How many are there?
There's 3, and then there's also like some peripheral stuff. Like I think there's another novel that takes place in the same universe, but is by a different author. And then there's also a novel by the same author that also takes place in the same universe, but it's not connected at all to the Three Body Problem. It's just another like sci-fi novel where they develop like ball lightning, which is some kind of weapon that they use. I don't really know that much. That's they make one reference to it in the Three Body Problem. They're like, well, we could use this weapon, except for this reason we can't use it. And that's the only time they even reference it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know the name of that novel. That's that other novel he wrote. Yeah, just about done with the third one. And actually, insane shit is happening currently in the third novel.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the third novel, like direct middle of the third novel.
Yeah, I'm getting towards the getting towards the last like part of the book.
Oh, I didn't know it was originally Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all Chinese stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty older book, but was recently translated. Or fairly recent.
Yeah.
There's a whole Three Body Problem TV show that the Chinese produced way long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it's covers all three of the novels. I think that one's just called Three Body. Something like that. Like a pared down title. I think it is just Three Body. I haven't seen it myself, but I know it exists. So watched that. I watched Dune Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
And Part 1 again, just so I could catch up.
I still haven't seen it either.
The Return of Dungus.
I like it.
Dune Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, Dune Jesus. It's good. It's good. It's a good movie. Some of the stuff in the story is, well, it's just Dune. It's not like, it just feels tropey because Dune kind of did these things first, but now it feels tropey.
Yeah.
It's because Dune's old and was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
At the time. But a few people have taken
a bunch
influence.
of stuff ripped off Dune, yeah. But yeah, it was good. It's long. It was a long ass movie.
Yeah. Is it worth it?
I mean, is anything worth it?
Man, you're getting existential on me here.
It's well worth a watch, I think. I don't think the length of the movie really detracts from it too much. It does take a while to watch through it, but you know, it's entertaining. It's a good movie.
Okay.
It was fun. And Joy Taylor, is that her name? Chick from the
Anna
Menu.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Anna Taylor-Joy makes a uncredited cameo at the end of part 2.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, it's uncredited, but it's not. You'll know who she is.
Yeah.
You can see her face, her weird angular face.
It's not one of the hidden cameos of like Star Wars.
Yeah. She's not like in a disguise or anything, or like in like a still suit or something like that, and like you can't see. You just see her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, a good movie. I really liked the guy who was playing Sting in this movie. If you remember Sting from the 80s.
Yeah.
The character he was playing.
From the Police?
Yeah, the guy they brought in, I thought did a really good job. I thought he looked a lot like Bill Skarsgård, but he wasn't. That's about it. He hasn't really been in much anything. The actor they brought in for it. Yeah, pretty good though. Liked the new Dune. It's worth. If you got 6 hours to kill, you can watch Dune, part 1 and 2. Definitely set it up for like Dune Messiah. I imagine is coming next.
Yeah, we are supposed to get the third one there.
Yeah. They definitely left it like, all right, we're ready to roll right into Dune Messiah at the end of that movie. Which I guess where the novels wrap up, anyways, it makes sense. But
That's where they wrap up. They keep going, but that is where they wrap up.
well, that's where the first novel wraps up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many. I hope they don't try and turn Dune Messiah into a 2-part movie, because that one, I could see it being necessary for the first one, but not the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're only supposed to get one more movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that'd be a good place to leave it. 'Cause the books just, everything kind of gets worse after the first one, honestly.
Yeah, I really do.
Like, not to whatever, but Yeah, they kind of just they just keep getting worse after the first one.
That's unfortunate. Can't win them all.
That is what it is. Yeah, happens with lots of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, Ender's Game didn't like stay good.
Nope.
Foundation series doesn't stay good. That one falls off pretty quick. And most of those like long-running sci-fi series get they can definitely get start getting weaker with time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think with Ender's Game, as soon as that like the Child of the Mind trilogy ends, it just stops being as great.
Yeah, they start doing all the peripheral stuff.
The Shadow of Ender was an okay one. That was a good little like side story to something we already had, but yeah, I don't know, that trilogy, the Ender trilogy is so good.
Yeah, I still need to finish the third one.
Then I watched it's been a few weeks. I watched a lot of stuff. I watched Invincible, all of Invincible on Amazon. Watched a different the other Amazon show about superheroes that's not The Boys. I've also watched The Boys. I like The Boys.
Yeah, I look forward to the new season of that.
Yeah, Invincible was really good too, though. And I like it for very different reasons than The Boys, even though they like on the surface kind of seem like they'd be similar. Pretty different shows, though. Invincible's a lot more like played straight superhero cartoon, whereas The Boys is even though it's less mean spirited than the comics, still feels pretty mean spirited.
That's true.
So yeah, Invincible, like superhero stuff.
Yeah,
Probably like Invincible.
Need to check that out.
I watched the new Love, Death, and Robots. New season of that came out. I thought that one was really good, actually. I like that better than the last season that came out. I also didn't know that there was a new one coming out. I was completely surprised by its existence.
Oh, that's nice when that happens.
Yeah, just like a little shadow drop there. Maybe they announced it somewhere. Actually, I think they did, because I remember seeing like one of the shorts from it. I remember seeing like a clip of. So that must have been part of the announce for it, and then I just completely forgot about it. But that was also enjoyable. Some really good shorts on that one. One that I thought I wasn't gonna like, it turned out to be my favorite one.
Oh, that's fun when that happens too.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
I don't know if I'm gonna like this one. Like, oh my god, this one's so good. What else did I watch? Lots of other stuff too. I watched what else did I watch? There must have been other stuff. Been like 2 weeks.
right.
Christian, what else did I watch? You were there.
I wasn't the whole time.
I guess that's true.
I don't know. You've been watching that Shogun, right?
Oh yeah, well I've been talking about that, but yeah, still watching that. That's still good.
I heard that people thought Rob McElhenney did an extra role
On Shogun?
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
I don't know. I think people just think it. There's like a guy out, I don't know, I saw the picture. It looks kind of like him. There's like a guy riding on a horse, like a samurai guy riding on a horse. And you can only really see like the lower part of his face. And like it looks kind of like him, but I don't know if it is him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I watched the Gentleman, the TV show based on the Guy Ritchie movie of the same title. And that was really good too.
That's a fun movie. I haven't watched the show yet, but the movie is
the show was really good. It took a little while to take off. I watched like the first half of the first episode and wasn't really that into it, and then left it alone for a few months and came back to it and watched the second half of the first episode, and they're like, I had turned it off at exactly the wrong time because they immediately start gassing it as soon as I started watching it again. I was like, okay, now it's getting interesting. It just took them a while to introduce everybody. I think this makes sense. Introduce all the characters.
I did just look it up too. How I was saying, I think the old Commodore 64 game is based off of the same stuff. It 100% is.
For which one?
For Shogun. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, it is an old book. That makes sense.
Yeah, didn't that book come out in like the 60s or something?
Let's see. I just saw it here. And shit. Where'd it
Shogun by James something.
Yeah, it's 1975. James
1975.
Clavel.
Okay. James Clavel. Okay, so not in the 60s.
Yeah, close enough.
Off by a decade. Yeah, close enough. Yeah. It came out before I was born. That could have been anywhere. And as everyone knows, that time didn't actually matter. History was actually created when I was born, and time has been spreading out in both directions. That's why I learned more and more about history as time goes on.
Yep.
Because more and more of it's being created.
That makes sense.
That's an interesting theory.
Accurate.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to find this old Commodore 64 game and play it sometime on stream.
I started watching Ripley, which is a TV show remaking The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh, okay.
It's all black and white. It's very like noir. It's actually quite good. And it doesn't have like, well, and I guess like it's still a good movie despite this. It doesn't have Jude Law or Matt Damon in it, but it's still a really very good show.
I don't believe it can be. I think by definition you can be without those guys.
It seems like it's I don't know. I never read the Tom Ripley novels, so I don't know what happens, but it seems like it's trying to be more true to the novels than the movie was. I just get that vibe from just because everything seems more tonally consistent than the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good. I think that one's on Netflix, right? Yeah, I think that's on Netflix. I imagine it was Netflix's answer to Amazon putting out Saltburn, which if you haven't seen Saltburn, it's just a ripoff of Talented Mr. Ripley. Like that movie's just it's not, but in a lot of ways it is. I
remember you saying that when you were watching it.
I watched Saltburn and I was like, damn, this reminds me of The Talented Mr. Ripley. And then I went back and rewatched The Talented Mr. Ripley because I hadn't seen it in a while. And rewatching it made me realize that, oh my god, Saltburn is just a ripoff of Talented Mr. Ripley because there was a lot more connections than I noticed initially watching it.
You were right the first time.
So... Saltburn was it was a bit different. The character motivations are a bit different in those two things.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a lot alike. Those two movies are too similar to not For you not to be like, oh, this is just talented Mr. Ripley. This is just British talented Mr. Ripley. Talented Pippa Pipley. So imagine that's the British version.
Weird.
Been working on my British accent. All that Guy Ritchie shit I've been watching lately.
You're doing great.
Thank
But
you.
what do I know? I've only been watching Doctor Who. So the only thing I know is
You've
that
just been hearing bad American accents.
I just know that London is the worst, always being invaded by some sort of alien or robot,
That's true.
Well,
or alien robot.
It's history. Historical fact.
if the Guy Ritchie shit I've been watching is to believe, then London's East End is also just kind of the worst.
Yeah.
Run by gangsters.
Yeah, pretty much. With rhymey slang in it.
I still like that scene in The Gentleman when he goes to buy the cell phone from those kids. So I like that scene. It's so fucking funny.
That's like that movie.
It's a good movie.
I rewatched that movie and I watched some other Guy Ritchie movies after finishing The Gentleman. Just cause. Went back and watched like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That one's always great. That one's I really like that movie, but goddamn is it hard to understand. They really fucking like don't give two shits about making those accents legible.
Nope.
Although I do, and I think Austin Powers ripped it off in the third Austin Powers movie. But in Lock, Stock, they do the translating Cockney into regular speech. They subtitle the Cockney into regular speech in the movie. And then they later do that in Austin Powers 3 Gold Member.
Yeah.
When Austin and his dad are talking, but yeah, they do that with like I think it's the like main character talking to Sting, who plays his dad in the movie. Another movie I watched that was Sting related, although I didn't watch the original Dune, nor do I plan.
Why would you?
There's a better Dune movie now. I'll just watch that.
Yeah, the first one wasn't good to begin with. I don't know why you really subject yourself to it more than necessary.
Shogun's been good. What else did I watch? I think there was another TV show that I watched. I don't remember what it was though. I guess it didn't leave that much of an impact.
Yeah.
I finally watched the last John Wick movie.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I'm taking this one. When that movie came out, I just seshed out all the movies and watched the new one.
It took me a while to watch that
Wick
last one
marathon.
too.
I just did the whole sesh out recently.
I liked it. I really liked it, the third one, but I don't know. There's something missing, or I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just like it's gone on too long and maybe I'm getting tired of it. I think
that is what it is.
Yeah, I think there's just this overall feeling where I wasn't as satisfied. Like, again, it wasn't a bad movie. I enjoyed it, but there's just something.
I think
It didn't have nearly as much action as, especially after watching all of them, like right after each other. That third one is so.
Oh yeah, four doesn't have as much action. I think that's my complaint about the third one is it's like it. And I know this sounds silly and everything, but it's too much action in that movie. By the end of the second act, the action sequences just feel like noise. Like they're not impactful anymore. Like, it's not a cool, interesting thing that's happening. It's just like, oh, John Wick shooting shit again.
You've been bombarded too much, and the nerves are dull now.
Yeah, it's very poor pacing in the third movie, which is too bad because the third movie actually starts with an amazing, like, long action sequence.
I think that third one has the best opening.
But by the end of the second act, it's like, what? I feel like John Wick's just fighting because you didn't have anything else to fill in the end of the second act with. Like, there's no stakes and no point to the fight that he's currently having. Yeah, 3 was a bit. There's definitely parts I really like about 3. I like the villain in 3. I like both of the villains. I like the hitman, the main hitman villain, the fucking Iron Chef guy, the Iron Chef chairman that he has to fight.
Kane.
Yeah,
his friend.
And I like the Adjudicator as that high level villain on there. Quite like those. Where's the Adjudicator? The second one.
No, the Adjudicator is the third one.
That's okay. That's the third
that's
one.
what I
thought. Yeah, I like those. Oh yeah, the second one's the Italian guy comes in and cashes in his IOU. And that causes problems for John Wick down the line. With the Italian guy who cashed in the IOU.
Yeah, and then he puts a bounty on his head, which starts John Wick's bounty, which raises to 40 million by the end.
Yeah.
And that's only because that guy was like, raise it, I'll take care of him right now. that nobody dude with the dog in the last movie. Who I thought was a cool, somewhat cool and elusive character. Who is this guy?
Recruiting replacement client.
I also watched the
WCG client care package.
new Fallout show. That was okay.
I liked it. I'm pretty easy to please though, so.
I thought it was just okay. Wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't.
I do think as video game adaptations, I think the Twisted Metal one was better, even though it definitely had a lot less of a budget. And I think that might have been even to what contributes to me liking Twisted Metal more. Twisted Metal looks more like it should be on a TV show, like it is a TV show.
It felt very TV showy, yeah.
Where Fallout has quite a bit of money behind it.
Ooh, and the new RimWorld DLC came out. What I've been playing.
I am jealous.
So I got anomalies on RimWorld now.
Yeah, I'm super jelly. I want to do it. I want to have my own SCP facility.
Yep, totally do that. Stable mod packs.
Yeah, I'll eventually be able to get it.
Don't worry, you keep digging, you'll get there.
I'll get it. That's fine too. I'd probably wait anyways because my favorite mods aren't working for it currently.
Yeah, that does make it a bit rough. I do miss my prepare carefully.
Yeah.
And hospitality. Everything else seems to be up that I really like using though. Oh, some of them aren't working. Doormats isn't working, which is a shame. I'm a big fan of doormats. Wipe your feet.
Yeah, that's fair. But the hospitality and the prepare
hospitality is really good. Yeah.
The hospitality I can do without that one, but the prepare carefully. I need those mods. I can't do it on any of those games. I always need the being able to prepare people myself, oxygen not included and stuff. I can't stand having to do a bunch of random
reshuffling the pawn until you get a decent one.
Something decent too, and it can take so long. It's
You probably feel that, right, Frankie? You got to reshuffle pawns a lot.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, there's a mod that helps you just prepare them. And I think
you can carefully prepare them.
I think those types of mods are great. I get them in just about every one of those games I can.
Yeah, RimWorld's definitely I don't mod a lot of games too much, but RimWorld's definitely a run with a wall of mods game.
Right. Speaking of wall of mods games, I just saw this last week, because it's Tuesday, Kinshi broke 200 million or 2 million copies sold.
Oh, nice.
And most of that within the last year.
Not bad for one of the first ever Steam Early Access games when it wasn't even called Steam Early Access.
It's so good.
Steam Greenlight.
It's such a good game. It's so
yeah,
fun.
but they were in Early Access for 10 years.
That's fine.
It is fine. They put out a pretty fun game. Although I'd like them to put out 2 to see what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if we ever get that. I don't know if we'll ever actually get part 2.
I mean, they keep putting out like updates that they're still going at it. So
yeah, I thought they actually have like some with the news of the what was it, 2 million cells, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that they posted something about number 2.
Well, that's
Yeah, they usually have like a
got some
post.
updates.
They usually get a post going every like at least every couple months, giving us some sort of little news.
Oh yeah, look, they posted a screenshot. That's what they did of what it looks like so far.
Yeah, they have a bunch of like community spotlights that they do quite often.
Please note, this is not representative of the final quality and is prior to us adding yada yada yada.
I look forward to it, but I don't expect it for any time soon. I know that they're changing like to Unity or Unreal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Changing to Unreal.
Well, they announced that a while ago.
Yeah. They're doing stuff.
Yeah,
They're working on it.
Yeah, they're doing the things.
I just wish they put it out to early access so I could play it for 10
Agreed.
years before they put it out in full release.
Agreed. I love, like, the first one's so good. It's such a good game. Sink hundreds of hours into it. I even thought about playing that for the podcast today. Maybe I'll load up some kitchen.
Do a little slave start.
Obviously, yeah. That's what I figured. Just do a little slave start, have some fun trying to break out of my cuffs and getting beat up on stream.
Yeah, get that toughness up.
Yeah. Maybe next week. But yeah. Instead, I'm playing Void Bastards.
I thought about playing RimWorld, but I played that all day already, so. That's not true. I played some Helldivers too.
I've seen you playing RimWorld quite a bit recently, so.
I was playing for a while until the new update dropped and like Colony can't be access.
And now it broke all the mods.
And I broke all of my mods. So yeah.
I think that's about it for the stuff I did.
Okay.
I'll probably remember the other show I watched at some point.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I'll talk about it next week.
Well, for me, let's see. I've been playing more Breath of the Wild. We still got the last. What's it called? What are they called? The Sage to get. Or I guess not the last one.
You need the desert one, right?
Yeah, the desert one. We haven't been down to any of the Gerudo area at all. Gerudo area, I don't know how to pronounce it. One of those. Geraldo area.
Geraldo Rivera.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Sounds right to me.
But yeah, so we just did some shrine, not hunting, but I guess like completing, since there's like a bajillion shrines that we've like seen and opened but haven't actually gone in. So I think the goal is to like get all of those, get all the life we can get, make things a little bit easier. And then
I don't know why you haven't been doing them as you find them.
that's how I played Breath of the Wild, I would just like, I love just like wandering around and like finding things. And I don't know, when I get like, usually with the health that I have now, which is around 6 or 7, like, yeah, I still die plenty of times because I have so little health. But it's usually enough for me to get through most everything. Yeah, it's just being so immersed in the world and wanting to explore and just like seeing something off in the distance, even if it doesn't lead to anything. Like sometimes it just leads you off to another place in the distance to look at, and it's like
I think I found all of the, or at least most of the puzzles in Tears of the Kingdom way more enjoyable than I did Breath of the Wild. So I think I enjoyed them.
They feel
so I looked forward to doing them.
Yeah, they feel easier, but they also feel more interesting at the same time.
I don't know, cool. Like some of them don't really feel easier, but like
there's always plenty of difficult ones, but
there always seems to be like multiple ways to do them.
Yeah, exactly. Like you'll finish something and be like instantly like, oh, I could have done it this way.
Yeah, if I would have just done this at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Which is cool. I like that. I like that sort of freedom in any game, really. And so one of the guys we were talking to, was it Iskold? I can't remember, but on the last stream, talking about the different ways to get the Master Sword. I think that's pretty cool too.
There's different ways?
Yeah, apparently there's 3 different ways that you can get it. Like they all lead you to get it the same way in the end, but like there's different paths that you can like start on to go
there's
get
like
it.
different. Well, like there's different ways of finding out how to get it.
Yeah, pretty much like different ways that will lead you to that last bit to actually get it.
Yeah,
which is cool.
You just gotta know it's there.
Yeah.
I think I still have to go get that on my...
Well, you still haven't got the Master Sword?
No, I've done so much more exploring. Like she's up in the sky flying around, and I know where she be.
Going nowhere.
It's just true. Like there's so much other stuff I could be doing, and every time I go to head that way, I see something. I'm like, oh look, there's a cave bunny.
That's fair.
And I go chasing after a cave bunny.
The Master Sword is very helpful though when you're in the Underdark area.
Yeah, I avoid that place like the plague.
Oh, it's one of my favorite places. I want to explore more of it, but it's pretty difficult.
It's
the hardest area for sure.
It's harsh, yeah. Especially some parts of it, like
yeah, but it looks so
definitely
cool.
Segmented into being hell on some areas.
Right. So yeah, it's going well in there. With the tears of the king. Otherwise, played some more Played Up, which is always fun. But I don't think I've... Oh, totally. Deadly Premonition. I was playing that while I was on vacation, on the airplane and whatnot. And
the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I want to play that on stream.
You should. Want to talk about like an odd ass game?
That
game is so weird.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Fun though.
In every aspect, it does. In all the things it chooses to do, like whole like you can't go past this speed limit.
That's right.
Oh my lordy, the game is all over the place as far as.
Yeah. Everything about it is just so quirky. That's just the way to describe that game. Quirky on every level.
It's one of my favorite like broken games.
Well, speaking of it being broken, so since I was playing it on my Switch while I was on the airplane, I was like, man, this doesn't run as good as I remember it running like crap on the 360. And I expected it to at least run a little bit better, even though it was just a Switch. But it wasn't, so it's like, okay, well, I know that I bought this on my PC, and I never loaded it up, the Director's Cut edition. So I loaded that thing up, and it was a fucking slideshow. I was getting like one frame every 5 seconds. It was horrible, and I went through all sorts of settings, like downloaded this little like hack pack that like changed some of the graphical settings to run smoother, and run in like full 1080p, because I guess it doesn't do that. And like I couldn't get it to work. It was just so bad. The frame rate was horrible. Until I finally read there's just this fucking long ass Steam thread where just everyone's like, just reboot your system. I know it sounds dumb. Just reboot your system. I was like, all right, I don't think it's gonna fix it, but I'll do it. And it fucking fixed it. I've never had a reboot for a fucking video game before. It's ridiculous.
There's some really weird stuff I gotta do when it comes to getting like Star Wars. A lot of this, actually, like almost half of the Star Wars games that I bought on like a big old bundle are like near impossible to get working, including like Knights of the Old Republic. Although that's gotten better, but when I first got that pack, oh man, there's some I had to. Like even running like ones that I thought would be fine, like the Force Unleashed. I don't know what.
Oh yeah, I remember trying to load that up on something too. Yep.
Just so bad. It was like, what the fuck is going on here? You're not telling me that this thing is graphically like messing with my stuff.
No, some games just aren't put together well, and then don't do well when they're on new hardware. Even worse than when they ran on the old hardware for some godforsaken reason.
Other games I had like no issue with it.
Right? It's so weird how that happens. I mean, most games are like that.
And they were like older. Like I got X-Wing Alliance to work like right away. No, not really any problems. But try and get like KOTOR or KOTOR 2 to work was a nightmare.
Yep. Yeah, that happens. But yeah, so I might stream that after I'm done with Descent, which I still have more than a few levels to go through, but so that's coming along too. And let's see. So while I was on vacation, so I was in Puerto Rico. There's one thing I told Christian about this, but hopefully it will entertain you as well, Andrew. There's these frogs that they have out there, and they make this little like chirping sound. So like we thought it was a bird at first. Actually, at first we thought it was like like some sort of weird alarm, or almost like the little chirps from smoke detectors. We thought it must have been like something like that, and I was like, no, the way this is happening, it's like it has to be an animal, so it has to be a bird. And then on one of the tours we went on, the guy actually like mimicked the sound and told us that it was a frog. And so that was pretty cool just to learn that, just because we were wondering, because I mean, like at night they're super audible. But then like the night before that we left, just I'm about ready to fall asleep, and then I guess two of these frogs that have been chirping all week, they found each other and they found love. And so you just hear that chirping just get faster and louder, just slowly but surely, and then just silence. But it was pretty funny. But yeah.
Frog love.
And then yeah, one of the coolest part for me that we did was doing a little bit of the kayaking, because I'd never been kayaking before. It's super fun.
Yeah, it's always cool.
You have both of you guys done it before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to. I did it in Colorado River.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think you told me that. Yeah.
Long ass time ago.
When I lived in Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho's chock full of it too.
Well, I know. On the way up to Taos, there's some places that you can. I don't know if it's kayaking or whitewater rafting. I don't know about whitewater.
Probably both.
But yeah. Because I've seen
maybe not whitewater rafting.
yeah, I've seen
I guess you
buses.
need whitewater for that.
Yeah, but yeah, I've seen buses where like people are gearing up and getting ready to get in. So I know there's something there that you could do. But yeah,
Maybe whitewater. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have
I
to.
don't know if there's a lot of whitewater stuff out here. Probably in Taos. That makes sense.
Yeah, it could be over there in that river around there, but I don't know.
How'd you find kayaking? Was it fun?
Oh, I loved it so much. Like, I mean, my shoulder was killing me from my arthritis afterwards, but it was 100% worth it. Like, since it was Rhea and Ashley and I that went out there, they got paired up. So I had to get paired up with somebody else that they didn't have an even number of people in their group.
You got some rando.
Yeah, she said she'd been kayaking before, but it had been like years.
But that was
years.
a goddamn lie. She had no idea what you were doing.
She got us almost killed.
She didn't do so bad, but there are like times where like she like just forgot. Oh yeah, you have to pedal on the opposite side to turn the opposite way, right? You know.
Yeah.
So she would just get confused with that every now and then, which is pretty funny. But no, we did pretty good. So. And like just the way that like when we were in sync, the way you pick up speed so quick, I was like, dang, this is cool. So yeah, it was super fun. I gotta do it again. I definitely like to do like a solo kayak too, see how that goes. But yeah. But yeah, and of course the wedding was cool. Right there on the beach. And we didn't know if we were going to come back in time. That was almost super annoying. Because our plane got delayed for like 4 hours. And then, yeah, I messaged Christian. I'm like, our plane got delayed. And then, like, I think like an hour later, I was like, it got delayed even further. He started laughing. I was like, this isn't funny, Christian. That's not funny.
It was kind of funny.
In hindsight, it's 100% funny, but only because I came back at least the same day.
It was kind of funny. I was like, yeah, that sounds like airlines. Sounds like he's dealing with airlines.
Spirit,
right? No,
sure.
And actually it wasn't Spirit, so we flew back on United. Spirit was actually pretty great. Like, I felt like their staff was super nice too. Like,
yeah, they're nice. Yeah.
Way nicer than like they needed to be.
That's because they know that their place is shit. And at some point, they're gonna have to be terrible too,
right? Because yeah, all the services were pretty crap. But United, yeah, I don't know, it was just a pain the whole way. So, but we got to charge our phones on the airplane, so I guess that's cool.
Ooh, wow.
Hey,
right.
Well, big money right there.
I know.
That's quite the amenity there.
Oh, I did actually. The first time I've actually drank on a plane was during our long flight from Puerto Rico to Houston, and I got to say, for a long flight, totally worth it. Because man, does it help you sleep so well.
Yeah. Yeah, Valium too.
Right. I'm sure.
You know, if you go to your you go to your doctor and tell them that you got a flight coming up and you're really worried about it or have trouble flying, they will probably give you a sample pack of Valium to take on the flight. A little bit of Valium never hurt nobody. Well, I mean, unless you have like a medical condition where it will hurt you. But
yeah.
Your doctor would probably know about that.
Hopefully.
Talk to your doctor about hooking you up with some drugs.
Talk to your doctor today about it.
Because they will.
Because they will. But yeah. I mean, other than that, let's see. Oh, Lost. We finished watching Lost just a few days ago. You know, there's one thing I gotta say about that whole show. Not to say that there isn't any exposition, but I was actually, like, when it comes to the storytelling, I feel like there's just a lot of times with shows like that where there's like all this like weird, crazy lore that there's so much exposition, and I was really happy to like trying to go through the show this time and like be analyzing it. That they actually do just show more, instead of just like explaining it with, you know, a 5-minute conversation or whatever. I think that's it's something you don't see a lot in TV shows anymore. I feel like, and also that last season, Rianne actually mentioned it, that it didn't feel rushed at all. And I gotta say, I agree. Like, with so many shows feeling like that last, like, you know, whether it's the last season or the last half of the last season, it feels like, you know, they're just trying to get to the end or whatever. Lost manages to take its time, which was, it's refreshing. And I wish that could happen more with newer TV shows, so. But yeah. So I still like it. I'm still holding to my theory that the island is the Garden of Eden. I think it's definitely open to interpretation, but that is my theory. Sticking to it.
Well, I think your theory is garbage.
That's okay.
I think they must be in a living hell. Which, basically, they're just on Earth. That's fine.
Right? Pretty much it.
Same thing.
Same thing. But yeah, I think that does it for me.
Sweet.
Yeah. News? Should we get on to some news?
Yeah.
You want to go
There's
first?
news.
I don't have a whole lot, and I need a second to pull it up here, actually.
Oh, and I won't need a second to pull it up? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I already have stuff ready?
I thought you might.
I kind of do. The fact that you thought that.
You came prepared. I did not.
I mean, kind of. I look at news and I post stories.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess most recently, some Ubisoft being Ubisoft and the great company
They are.
Mm-hmm.
When did they start being Ubisoft?
Yeah, they're still doing the Ubisoft stuff. In fact, with all the talk surrounding like games preservation and like what it means to actually own a game, and digital ownership of stuff, Ubisoft has found itself in the middle of a bunch of shit as they stripped people for their license of The Crew, one of their games. Not only did they, stop servers, which is, that happens, sunsetting of servers happens.
Yeah.
For online games. But they actively took away the game license from people.
Wow.
And in fact, you get a message in your library that says you no longer have access to this game. Why not check out the store to pursue your adventures?
What?
And they've moved the game to an individual section in the libraries listed under inactive games. You can still apparently launch the game in this, but it will only launch in a demo mode, apparently. Unsurprisingly, this has not gone well with a bunch of people, especially when a bunch of people are talking about what it means again to own a game when you buy it, and a bunch of people trying to preserve games. This just seems to fly in the face of all of that and give everybody a big slap.
I'm starting to feel like, personally, not to get too political here, but that there probably should be a law to preserve.
Well, that's what a lot of the talk
stuff
has been about, and in fact, I think there's some shit in the works.
I hope so.
People talking and trying to get stuff going on nationals and European levels of protection, because obviously when things like this keep happening, we need some sort of protection. It's one thing for your live service to have no more servers or you cut servers, okay,
right,
that sucks. And there should be a conversation on how to fix that.
Well, I'm just wondering too if it's just like, no, you know what, 10 years after your game has, like, you've ended support for the game, maybe, then maybe that's the time that you have to release source code.
Well, I'd like to see them, like, even just the ability to have your own, like, private servers and unlock that type of stuff.
Be great in and of itself too, for sure.
Just because there's gonna be a dedicated group that want to keep that stuff going,
right?
Like, there always is.
Yeah.
Well, how many stories do we hear? At least like a couple a year about how someone is still like on a server. Right, like the last ones left, and they've been held out onto that server because it's sunset.
Well, you heard about the Nintendo thing with basically, you know how the Wii U and the 3DS servers they're shut down. Apparently, there's like a project of people who are enabling access still to something or another to still be able to have some of those games still run.
I think there needs to be that, because they're like, game preservation alone is important.
Yeah, but
also like, there is a sense of like, what do you purchase? If I'm just purchasing a license, which we somewhat understand already, but does that really give them the right to just pool like? I get that like the crew's been out for a while, but it's just to pool it all.
Right.
Like, it's one thing to cut off servers and not have access to them, whatever. But, like, just straight take that license away from people because,
well, it'd be interesting because I wish I could go back and look at those licenses because I wonder if they are technically in breach of their own terms of that license.
Well, they're definitely in breach of promises that were made to us when digital games started. And all these companies pushed digital game sales over everything else. Oh, it'll be so much easier. Your game at your fingertips. Everything you need right there. Oh, here's the thing, though. We'll just steal access from you at any point in time. That's cool.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Although, like I said, there are groups and people out there trying to figure out how we can prevent this stuff.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what the future brings. I got something fun.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers Series Zelda and Ganondorf amiibo are up for pre-order right now. Actually, I shouldn't say pre-order. They're up for sale now. This is kind of an old article that I had saved, but yeah. If you didn't catch them around the first time, this is, I think, the first set that they're going to be releasing of old Smash Brothers amiibos to get. So
I do have the Link amiibo
with the gold stem.
The what now?
So is it Link with like his pose of like kind of jumping up into the air? The one that you have?
Maybe? I don't know.
Well, apparently...
Is that your guess there, Christian? It made the rounds when we were all playing Zelda.
Yeah.
I think Robert might have it. But...
I didn't know this. Actually, Zoe was the one that told me that there's two versions of it. One with like the plastic base that kind of holds them off the ground a little bit. It's either clear or gold. And apparently the gold one can be worth some good amount of money, so...
Oh. A clear one? I don't know. I don't know if I have the gold one either.
I don't know.
Got a lot to find out.
I don't know what I have. Maybe something else entirely.
But yeah. A little if you missed Ganon or Zelda, go get it now. I don't think I have Ganon, so I might have to pick that up. I love the amiibos, like, just as figurines. They're just amazing quality for how big they are.
They're cool little figures. They're great. Well, I got something else.
Yeah.
In a fun sense too. I'll do my fun one. Borderlands 3.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the science game that they did?
Yeah,
That was to
I remember that.
study the genome, the human genome bacteria that lives in our guts.
Yeah, vaguely.
Like the evolution of those microbes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It launched in 2020. It was McGill's University led the project as a way to try and improve on its AI programming and the studying of it. And it was all kind of loose in the air. I think there was a pretty good understanding of like, this could be good, this could be almost useless. They had another game that they released that was just like their game. It was called Philo. And it was just that. It was just their little puzzle thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we finally got some information of what the science in Borderlands was able to accomplish.
Mm.
As it turns out, 4.5 million people played it.
Wow.
And held a longer streak of playing than their game did over a 10-year period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Where most people completed about 5 tasks on their Philo game.
Mm-hmm.
The average Borderlands science player completed 35
Dang.
tasks in a medium of 12. This is pretty cool. They were able to collect like a grip of information about our guts, and we're able to do more within that amount of time than any of their AI programs combined.
Yeah, suck it, AI.
Kind of cool that doing like the collective work,
Right.
basically.
It reminds me of the Folding at Home project,
Yeah.
which is cool. Cool stuff. Or the SETI at Home. Those ones. Both of those are pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool, and you can have like a community.
Yeah.
Like anyone could take part of this. It'd be almost a free thing.
Mm-hmm.
Borderlands Science was free. It wasn't like a paid DLC or anything.
Yeah.
There's something they gave. Obviously, they're still going on. There's still stuff being collected, just not as much. But it's pretty cool. They were able to get like a lot of information.
Yeah, that is cool. Sorry, were you gonna say something else? Did I cut you off?
No, I was gonna try and get. I guess I'll get it for the show notes. Randy Pitchford tweeted out about the peer-reviewed paper and stuff. So if you are interested, we can put it in the show.
Yeah, for sure.
In the show notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's something you can go check out.
Well, next up, I just have a little PSA for tomorrow. Nintendo is going to be doing their Indie World Showcase tomorrow. Let's see. I think, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So, there's supposedly going to be 20 minutes of announcements and updates on indie games headed to the Switch in 2024. Which, if, the next Nintendo console is coming out probably in 2025, I think this is kind of cool to showcase these indie games a bit more before before the Switch is done with. So yeah. I wish that, like, I mean, I know Sony and Xbox do it too, but I feel like Xbox used to really showcase indie stuff. But now I feel like Nintendo's on top of that. At least with the Switch. I mean, there's also a lot of crap on there too, but you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Right. Is that it on your?
Let's see. I got one more little piece of news.
Okay. Well, I have one. I got. I was just, if that was the end of that one.
Oh yeah, that was the end of that one. Yeah.
The development company Possibility Space are closing.
Yeah.
With all of its staff being laid off immediately without guarantee of severance. And CEO Jeff Strain implies that staff are to blame.
Mm-hmm.
In a very classy
so
CEO,
classy.
yeah, CEO move. He blames basically leaks for ruining his thing, mostly to be of a writer from Kotaku came asking questions because they're working on an article.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess some of those questions were things that they should not have known about. And, you know, he asked where you got that information, and it was, you know, from staff. So he's just utterly surprised. And by the way, this he's claiming that, you know, it's the leaks and stuff like that. But the article that he kind of really complains about in this letter isn't out. Has not been published.
Oh, really?
As of today, has not been published.
Mm.
And it's kind of ridiculous to not think that, like, there's a reason that journalists have that stuff. You got to have your connections, you know.
Yeah.
To report on stuff. So I get that you might not like that, but you cannot be using that as like the reason your company is going over, and you can't afford
that doesn't
to
even
give
make
out
sense.
No, it doesn't. It's whining stuff. You're whining.
Like, I mean, I guess you can make an argument that it affects sales because you guys made a shitty product that you didn't want people to know how shitty it was, maybe. But still, bottom line is you made a shitty product. That's the only way that maybe you could argue that, and it still doesn't look good for you. So
yeah. He was let go. So the co-founder, he was a co-founder of Guild Wars, and the founder of the State of Decay developers, Undead Labs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just, it seems to have been handled in like the worst and way possible, according to some actual leaks that came out, is the messiest and least respectful way imaginable.
yeah,
Some staff, you know,
definitely
called it.
Yeah, that's pretty scummy.
By the way, Jeff Strain from Undead Labs, before his departure from Undead Labs, was subject to a Kotaku report in 2022, in which staff alleged a culture of sexism, bullying, burnout. Strain declined Kotaku's request for any comments at the time. Instead, he posted his response where he stood by his actions.
Mm-hmm.
As a CEO.
What a stand-up guy.
Yeah. So, you know, CEOs being CEOs, doing the good CEO thing. CEOing.
It's just a straight shitty person.
Yeah.
Like, I mean that feels a lot scummier than a lot of the CEO bullshit that we've talked about recently, and there's been some pretty scummy shit that we have talked about.
They're trying to blame your employees for you not being able to have severance pay for them is pretty bad.
Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah.
Last bit from me then. Take-Two has announced some layoffs. This I saw just came about today. Actually, not too long before we started the podcast, just a few hours ago. They're going to be laying off about 5% of their workforce, about 579 workers. So it's one of those things where it continues. The issues are continuing.
This does come shortly after something to do, keep in mind, is this comes shortly after they just bought themselves out from Embracer Group.
Yep. And so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this does kind of make sense. But it's shitty. It's definitely shitty. So we'll see. Hopefully they can pull themselves together though. Hopefully.
I mean, they're not under Embracer anymore, which is undoubtedly a good thing. But unfortunately, they're still under Randy Pitchford, which is not a great thing.
Right. That's the double-edged sword there.
Yeah, I really can't stand that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He should go run off and be a magician.
It's an illusion, Michael.
It's an illusion, Michael. Tricks are what whores do for candy. I've got one more little thing.
Okay. No más.
Yeah. If you're interested, just announced today, Hades 2 technical test will begin shortly. I don't know what shortly means, but tweeted out today from Supergiant Games is that they're getting close to launching Hades 2 in early access. And before that, they plan to do a Hades 2 technical test, which they'll begin shortly. If you want to sign up to participate, you can simply request access on the Hades page on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you may or may not get it, obviously. But if you want to try and get in on a technical test of Hades 2, that option just became available.
Mm-hmm. That sounds cool.
I look forward to Hades 2.
Yeah, you play the crap out of that game.
I still do occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that game.
Mm-hmm.
I know Andrew liked it too.
Are you
Very
guys,
fun game.
you guys gonna sign up?
I already did. As soon as I saw the article, I did.
You were like, I'm there.
I'll try.
I want to go to there.
Why not? I will give it a shot.
Right. Well, yeah, sweet. Does it for the news.
Yeah, that's about it though. That's all I got. I guess there was kind of one other thing, although it wasn't any like article or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it on Twitter. I thought it was utterly ridiculous. A game developer, I think he's another CEO.
Surprise.
Talked about by the way, he has some like bigger developer too, but having a tip system for games.
Oh, I did see
where you
something
could
about that.
Where you could tip $10 or $20 to the developer. Well, you paid $70, but you're having so much fun. Maybe you want to tip them some more.
I'd be okay with that if I knew that it was like going to the developers as a bonus or something.
Yeah, that's part of the thing, right? Like, that's part of the rub. If I didn't already understand and see what like the tip culture has done to other things, aka like America's wage system with service workers, right? It wouldn't probably scare me as much, right? Like the altruistic idea that I could give like a developer like a tip. Not that I'm against a tipping culture, but it tends to lead to people not getting paid.
Yeah, I'm a little against it. I'm more against it than for it, just because it's like I'm against it the way that it's set up for our restaurant workers here, I should say. Because like, if people were really nice to me at a store, I'll they have a tip jar there. I'll tip them. Sure. I know in a lot of cases, at least places that I worked for before, if there was a tip jar that we had, we got to split that. So, but when it's like, no, their wage is the tips, that's
the tip culture I'm saying. Yeah. Like the tip culture I can get behind and I'm willing to do is when you give the option, but you're still paying your employees, a livable fucking wage. Yep. Yeah. And not using tips as a way to say, oh, we don't have to pay you minimum wage. I think that is an absurd. You're basically putting the pay of your employees into your customers' hands.
Well, which I mean, it technically does. Like either which way you look at it, it does. But like you're just trying to offload that responsibility of like making sure that they're paid onto other people. That's what it feels like to me. Yeah, and that's shitty. But on the other hand, I do get that like people who work really hard, like sometimes that they get paid a lot more than the average person because they do a great job, and so they get really big tips. And I think that's the cool part about. Look,
I don't mind tips. Yeah, but that shouldn't be the reason a restaurant doesn't pay minimum wage.
Exactly.
Like, especially where that whole idea came from. If you're really curious on why America is so big on tipping, just look into our history a little bit.
I don't know anything about it, so I'll have to.
I mean, I don't want to get into it too much, but it was a way to not pay the black community as much when they were able to start working.
Wow. That's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah. So you could keep them at not a livable wage. And then we just prevailed that throughout society. It's just the way things are.
Just the way things are.
Otherwise, I guess I don't need to let my political things known too much. They'll get known.
We came here to talk about games, not get political.
Yeah, so I won't too much.
Too much.
Well, what if
look at what's going to happen.
We're playing like very politically charged games, though.
Well, sometimes there's political messaging in games.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Plenty of that.
There is plenty of that.
Like my favorite types of games. Any games where you get to kill Nazis, those are great. Great game.
Yeah.
You don't even need much.
My favorite villain.
Yeah, besides like, fighting bugs and automatons, they could throw Nazis in there and I'd be right on them. Like,
I think we're the Nazis in that one. Not technically. It's not even technically fascism.
It's
more military dictatorship.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Totally different.
It says democracy on the label, so.
Well, it's managed democracy.
Just a subset.
Military dictatorship with better PR.
Yeah, right. Well, sweet.
I like that some people don't get the satire of that game.
Oh, yeah, no, it's funny. I've seen some posts where it's like, you missed it, didn't you? You missed the joke hard.
We not play the same game?
I don't think we're painted as the heroes. I mean, sure, it's fun to pretend for managed democracy.
I like killing bugs as much as the next guy, but we're the bad guys at this.
It's pretty well established, like lore-wise. Like, we went to attack the Illuminate because they had weapons of destruction. Not that they would use weapons of mass destruction. They just had them.
We wanted their weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, well, we
Now
could
we
destroy
have
them.
them.
Yeah, because they had them. We had to destroy them. Because they had them. Not that they were going to use them at all. Just, they have the ability to do so. We can't have that.
I mean, you should have that. That's
We did
what
wanna
it is.
have it.
Yeah, you want to have that for yourself and only yourself.
Yeah, we wanted that. We can't let them have that.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, well, let's call it there. That was a good return.
That's good. That's fun.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So, as always, you can catch us here almost every Tuesday doing the 8-Bit Show on the Twitch and the YouTubes. And catch us pretty much every day doing the live stream. What do we got this week?
Well, I'll be back tomorrow. Should be playing some Pacific Drive.
Oh, good. I'm working on some more of the videos.
That episodes.
Yeah, some more episodes. So
Fun.
yeah.
I've been thinking about trying to play another game. I've been thinking about restarting the Resident Evil 4.
That'd be good.
That's where we left off the last time I was streaming.
Yeah.
But I'm contemplating on how to do it. Do I play the new Resident Evil 4? Do I play the old Resident Evil 4 and then the new Resident Evil 4?
Ooh.
Do I eat you? Do I fuck you?
Do I eat you?
I think you should do, because you played through 4 recently, right? Like the new one. You actually beat it, right?
I have not finished it.
Oh, you haven't? Well, then I think you should do
I've
the new
played
one.
the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But
I think you should do the new one then and finish that. That's my vote.
all right. Well, there's a vote.
Yeah.
It's unanimous.
I voted third party.
Throw away
Just
your
throw away your vote. I love you guys.
Love you too. All right. Yeah. We'll get out of you guys' hair. Thank you for joining us. We love you guys as always, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Boy.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Boy.
You need to tell us that. You need to tell us that you ended the stream, but
And then
don't
not.
end it for another, 2 to 3 minutes. And then